Hello, friends of Komodo platform, friends of Pirate Chain and Bitcoin, friends of crypto price charts and technical analysis. I'm Giuliano. It is the 21st of December. That's right. And we're Tuesday. So we have some weekly charts to look at, price closes for the Sunday that I haven't looked at yet. And let's take a look. We'll look at some Bitcoin, some Komodo, some Pirate Chain, and we'll see what else we have in store. Okay, let's run with it. So Bitcoin is at a $49,000 level. Wow, good. Price charts are working. And let's get into it. So on a weekly time frame, all right, we are looking at this candle here, right here. Whoops. We'll take this tool. We are looking at this candle here, this red one. Oh boy, 2 strikes to start. So we're looking at this red candle close here, and it is an engulfing bearish candle of the week. And so we'll see what the next week or two has in store. The thesis remains a little bit of negative momentum to come for sure. How much? It's difficult to tell. But in terms of price and looking at our lines of potential here, I do see this zone here being a high probability area for the price to reach. But we'll see what ends up happening. So the other option, of course, is that it doesn't get there, and instead we find our flooring and before we get going higher. But yeah, so far it looks like the down is still in play, at least to clear out the rest of the action here towards this 61.8% retracement, which is the retracement of this move from down here. So just as a reminder, okay, 61.8, 78.6, 88.6. So there you have it. Now, in terms of daily price charts, let's take a look. We have an interesting movement towards the top of the channel as previously discussed. So there you go. I mean, is it going to be another toppy candle? Are we going to get some wick outside? What kind of levels are we looking at? But basically, so far we are finding the direction that was expected. And if we take it to a 4-hour time frame, and we see here we're at a point where either we are going to top out or we're going to continue. We are, because we're challenging this level here, and the next levels are basically in the 50,000 and a half to about 51 and 51.7. Okay, so at these levels here, we start to hit downtrending resistance lines on this 4-hour time frame from back in the beginning of November there, the top at the beginning of November. And so then we are reaching in towards this trend line, which in terms of the channeling, you know, we can, on a 4-hour time frame, might look a little bit different. But if you wanted to play like this, then we're breaking out of this shorter term channel, which, okay, that makes sense. Breaking out of it, that means that we have some sort of testing potential here, maybe even to break this downtrend resistance and reach up to this next level of downtrending resistance. Now, however, having said that, that would be a very hopeful and strong move. Now, instead, what we're dealing with on the daily time frame is more so this this type of channel on the daily, and now here on the 4-hourly, however you want to play it. It's not, we're not working with the same channels per se because of this impulse move. In that sense, we would more so separate, you know, whatever's happening back here and whatever's happening here are separated. We're not necessarily connecting them on the 4-hourly in terms of channels. Although we can, when we zoom out to the daily and it encompasses that 4-hourly time, and at the same time, it makes more sense in this daily time frame. So let's see what happens. This is an important time for the Bitcoin price chart. Are we going to be breaking above this channel and finding something new here? Or is this, you know, the beginning of the turnaround to come back down for Bitcoin? And what are people going to be saying is the news or the catalyst for that to happen, if that is indeed the case? Otherwise, we will consider this the lows of the move, even though we intra-day traded here, but really we rounded out here. And so then we can have this price move out of the channel to the upside. Okay. If we are looking at some indicators now, let's pull in Bollinger Band and say, yeah, we are interestingly testing that. Ooh, back above the 200. Okay, yeah. So what's going on? Let us, oops, get in there. Testing the 20-day moving average right here. It's that yellow line coming down. Okay. Going towards the channel. I do think it's definitely possible to break out to the next level, and eventually hit the cloud. I don't know. However, we are just potentially also going to get rejected somewhere here, and potentially, you know, lose this 200-day moving average again, which I guess at this point would not be. That would probably mean we definitely need more time. But it happened here. You know, these things can happen where we start losing it, come back into it, but no, we can't hold it. Now, it took quite a number of days here, a week or 2 weeks of action here. Let's see, you know, falling down below, coming back up, this bullish engulfing candle like this. Well, here, it's like here. And so from there, maybe, you know, where are we again? Over here, comes up here and down. So yeah, another week. So we'll see. Let's find out what happens, but it's right upon us. It's right upon us, and it's a good time to see what's going to happen to this channel, to this 20-day moving average, to this Bollinger Band, which is coming down. So are we going to just go touch the top of the Bollinger Band, to this Ichimoku cloud, and to this whole this whole pattern move, consolidation, correction, however we want to phrase it. Now, the thesis currently, just the basic idea is that this is not the fullness. It's a bigger degree, which matches this degree and this degree. Okay, so that's the basic idea. And we haven't matched that degree yet. So it's either going to have to be through price or more time, I think, to match the degree. And there you go. So, but when we get back out to this weekly time frame and we say, all right, well, here's the deal though. What if we see this Ichimoku cloud as a nice bed of clouding bed, and you know, we still haven't quite taken a nice landing on it yet, and we could just nicely flop on it, you know, who knows, or flop on it and bounce. But why not come down, test this, and really freak everyone out? I don't see why not. We haven't really come down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band and played to that area. So I get the sense that we're waiting for a Bollinger Band and touching. We're waiting for cloud touching. Yeah. And also the other thought here is this 20-week moving average at about 53. Now, the problem here is if we retest that and break below, then that's that's definitely a high possibility. Okay. The other option is we don't even quite make it up there. We continue in some sort of, you know, channeled action towards that bottom a little bit more, or maybe we break down below, who knows, you know, once we get into the daily, that would be I mean, a breakdown below the channel would be quite fast because otherwise by then, you know, you're already down at 37K and you're still in the channel within the first 10 days of January. So there you go. We are nearing the end of the year. So let's see what happens. Okay, that's Bitcoin. It's also, there's an opportunity to look at these and say, yeah, I mean, we could be having a rally intermittently, or we're seeing the bottoms. No, I mean, nothing is super clear yet. Nothing is super clear yet. We're reaching up to these levels of RSI. Who knows? Let's see. It's either going to jump to the next level around 55 from this 45 level, or it's going to kind of reject around here and come back down and play lower. So momentum to shift, but MACD is saying give us a bit of green. And if it's not going to be this time, then it's going to be, it feels like it'll be one of the next time. Because when we go to the weekly price chart and we take a look again at this weekly level, it's like maybe it goes less red. We have a bit of positive momentum. Maybe we get more negative and it gets deeper, or maybe less deep, but it still gives us, and then eventually we're like into green territory. That's possible too. Anyway, so let's see what happens. Stick around, Bitcoin. That's right. This is very, very nice. If you like charts and if you like other things like lines, colors. Okay, there's your Bitcoin. Yeah, on the weekly, it makes sense. Like, what are we doing? Are we going to test the 20 period average first? And then are we coming down? Or are we just gonna kind of go sideways and down? You know, we've just come up a little bit and now we can sideways and down. We'll see. And how hard are we gonna come down? Is there gonna be some sort of catalyst that pulls us below here? I prefer straight down, okay? Because the other option would be some sort of potential strength here and then down, which is more head and shoulders, which really brings us to that 886, and then it really gives the option of breaking down the well, by then here at least it would give us the option, sorry, not of breaking down, but of finding some support, because it would have had some formation of head and shoulders, and at the same time it would have cleared it. Like, for example, roughly, let's take an extension here and we come here and we say it's about 1-to-1. Like, if we go down and we come up and then we go down, you're roughly at a 1-to-1 extension for your head to shoulder. But because you'd be playing with something like this as your neckline, and yeah, it makes sense, right? So like, that's also, oh man, 1-to-1 would even be maybe down to here, so might not even have to go that far. You know, it depends on what kind of move it's actually going to make. But anyway, just some thoughts to consider. Just some thoughts to consider where it could go. You know, head and shoulders, not quite an Elliott wave pattern, but it's definitely something talked about by many people. So people look for head and shoulders, and what a head and shoulders means in terms of price action is it makes sense of that it would form that in that way. Okay, so here we are. I think it looks like maybe not a big move up on the weekly, but that actually could play out and it makes sense. Maybe not just straight down. Maybe it needs to go up first, or maybe, you know, this green candle here, this one, and maybe the next one or whatever it's going to be is going to be some sort of up sideways, and then we get our down. Okay. The other option is, hey, we're done. We go and test this move here to the 20-week, we break through it, and we are fighting up here in these 50s, 50,000s, high 50,000s to the 60,000s and beyond. But biases to the downside. Okay, so that's BTC. Now, let us move over to some KMD. If you're looking at KMD on the monthly chart, we are looking at lower lows. Okay, so not unexpected or unheard, but when we start getting this kind of winding, like triangular zigging zagging formation, it should be ending. Okay, so even if it's going lower in its lows, it's making itself to the point where it's gonna break to the changing the trend. That's one idea, and that's the idea we're working with here on the KMD price chart. So at some level though, this 1,000 level is still in play and reasonable. I would say though, once, okay, it starts to get interesting once we get towards the 4-hour time frame. So let's go from the monthly, because also there are long patterns down that could complete here and then be doing their rebound retracement, and then it's their turn to go higher, whatever level that's going to be, whether it's this level or higher. Okay, so we go to a weekly time frame and we start looking at weekly candles. Well, even price wise, we are in a downtrending channel on the near term, and I will show you KMD fans and friends. We are really at the lows of the lows from back in 2020, end of December. So is it going to be a year of a big up and down and matching lows, or does this price have lower to go? And if we take a look here, we're at the lower end of the Bollinger Band, can only test the 20-week moving average using wicks intra-week. Oh wait, sorry, let's check a look here. I mean, just there's so much sideways activity in the positive and negative momentum. It's just winding up. It only makes sense that it's winding up, but then again, things don't always have to make sense. So this is KMD BTC price chart, and yeah, let's keep an eye on it for sure. It's enjoyable in that sense. I hope you're having fun and not feeling the pain too much, because it is, you know, to see if you're watching it holding your breath, you might suffocate here. 1 year back at the same price, that's means you haven't gone anywhere. But that's not true, because as we watch the price charts, that's what's fun, and we see that we have gone somewhere. We are in this long term, and that's what makes this enjoyable too. So on the daily price chart here, we could be seeing more negative momentum here, or we could be clearing it out and going towards that positive. When I see a little closer, okay, on the daily, and you'll see it more on the 4-hourly as well, okay, but this is important on the daily. We went up with price, hit around the top of the Bollinger Bands, okay, exhausted here, even into the clouds, exhausted there. So top of the Bollinger Band, okay, price comes back down, nice zigzag move down to the playing at the 20-day moving average, coming down to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Okay, we've gone up as a rebound effect. Okay, and now we come back to retest. retest that we are at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, we are retesting the low and saying, yeah, we are confirming, and we are ready to go higher. It's either that, or this retest is taking us lower, and indeed, we are not done. And that is the type of prospect that, depending on what is happening in the price, this could be quite a move down. But what's promising here is the potential to the upside. And it looks like there is momentum, there's potential for the momentum to the upside. We have just come from the top of the bands and the cloud here underneath. And we're back down at the bottom of the band and we're doing a retest. So let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame and say, same thing here. We went, you know, a big impulsive move down here. Okay, bottom of the bands here, we catch some lows, and then we're back to the top of the band, and now back to the bottom of the band. So these lows here at this bottom end of the band are matching with the previous lows. And we're trying to say, okay, yes, that is going to confirm these lows, and we're off. Now, watch this. We are also now here getting much more potential for some form of divergence. So even if the price goes below this price here, we start to build a nice case for divergence. So how much lower does the price need to go? I don't know, but just recognize that even as the price goes lower, we build a case for bullish divergence. And we have a case for moving towards positive momentum. So let's watch it out. Now, how much is that divergence going to give us? Well, it brings us to the 1500 SATS level again. And on the daily, that would mean, and we'll just keep this on the hourly. So on the daily, we are looking like we could also find some positive momentum eventually and make our way back up to this 20 period average, which is around the 1620s. So there are the two directions which are possible. The direction downward continued towards the 1300 and eventually 1000 Satoshis level, or we are really nearing the turnaround of the turnarounds. And that is an exciting thing too. So I wanted to recognize that we have on a 4-hour level, we have these downtrending resistance that are touch points. So we have broken a very local one. We're time-based, price-based. We are past it to the right and above. And now we're working towards this downtrending, which leads into the beginning of the year. And that relates again on the daily. That relates right here. Okay, so that relates there on the daily into the first quarter of 2022. Whoa, we're gonna not be saying 2022 for 2021 for much longer. We'll still be getting words mixed up. I'm gonna keep coming with you here with price charts. So that's the KMD price chart. I do like the way it's looking overall, because I see on a bigger scale potential turnaround over time. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take time, but it'll be interesting to watch, and we'll soon have our confirmations. By this year, it'll tell us a lot of information about what's coming on the KMD BTC price charts. So there you have it. That's where we stand right now. We are still on the lowdown, still with the opportunity to dump further, but also feels like we're getting close to the next move up. You know, we do have moves up, we have moves down, we have moves up, we have moves down. And if we are talking about potential targets, let's take some retracements here. We'll take our top to our bottom. Where's our bottom going to be? We don't know. So that'll be tough. But if we're finding bottom around here, well, we'll see what kind of retracements we can get. If we can retrace this whole wave, that's the important thing. We're looking for a one-to-one retracement, more than a 100% retracement on KMD to the upside. We haven't seen one of those in a really long time. Like even this retracement here, it was not more than 100% of this move, right? It was not even barely 78.6% of the move. So KMD has not retraced more than 100% of a move in a really long time. So that's what I'm trying to say. We're waiting for example, last thing to say, we're waiting for this move here to get retraced more than 100%, and then we want that to be part of this move here being retraced more than 100%. Okay, and once we do that, then we can start getting into this zone here, and maybe this whole wave, we could say at that point, we are getting somewhere with the KMD price chart. Now, it's going to be a long deal for sure. You know, you come up, maybe you come back down, like on a bigger time frame scale. I definitely could see that happening, and then from there, maybe that's your time up. Okay, these are possibilities and how it can work for sure. All right. Well, that's just something to think about for you. Now, that's a KMD price chart. Let's move on. Let's go to that pirate chain. Yes, not quite timing the way that we thought maybe we would get on the 21st, but okay, let's confirm some things. Weekly price chart. We got a nice turnaround here, closing price at the 88.6 retracement. That matters. Okay, even though during the week, what a interesting turnaround candle potentially here on this price chart. So that's what we have. We're gonna get rid of this retracement for now, and that 88.6 retracement is from the bottom to the top. 88.6 retracement, sorry, the top being the closing price. And yeah, there we go. So let's take a look on the pirate chain price chart. What's happening here? Good. But at the same time, we made our way back down, testing the broken out trend line. But now we're struggling to get and stay above the 20-day moving average. We're stuck below it, as you can see. So let's see what this candle closes at. We're nearly at the end of the day candle closing. Yeah, who's to say? I mean, maybe the price needs to come back down a little bit more before it can go further. But at the same time, we're just looking for the next candle or two to bring it above the 20-period average, and then try and make the rest of that move that we had anticipated higher, okay, before then coming back down or doing whatever it needs to do. So there you have it. That's kind of where that stands with the pirate chain price. From this move, we're still, oh, nice 38.2 retracement here. So maybe it still needs to come back down towards the 61.8 before it goes higher, or the 50% before it goes higher. It just might need one of these, you know, come here and then come back down here, and then it's time to go. So in terms of time, we were looking at it on a 4-hour time frame. Daily, let's get rid of you just for now. 4-hour time frame. Yeah, look, we're going to narrow these Bollinger Bands. Very nice, very nice, very nice. We held this Ichimoku cloud of support. We got a pop. We're coming back to retest it. In fact, this is pretty good. If we could hold that 38.2 on the daily, and you know, I guess it would be the same here too, right? We're talking on the 4-hourly. If it came a 50% move on the 4-hourly, I guess because I didn't. Here, if we go back to the daily, I think this because I didn't use the wicks. So yeah, we did a 50% retrace. So in that sense, maybe that's complete. On a 4-hour, it's telling us there's a good chance we're pretty complete here. This negative momentum looks like it wants to get bigger positive, although It's only been a small little positive here, and we'll see if it can bump up and get higher, because this Bollinger Band is going to narrow now. So yeah, maybe, well, this is going to be an inflection point at one way or another. Either it's higher or lower, and lower is still fine because we still have, 61.8 would still make it a trending type of a move. So it's still in the potential. However, time wise, we are about three times more correction than impulse move up. So we're roughly 3 to 1, and that seems like about the ratio of relationship. Beyond that, it starts to feel like we're doing something else unrelated to this impulsive move. So we'll see. Maybe what we need is maybe, yeah, on the 4-hour time frame, might need a little bit longer, but it just feels like it's ready to go. And then we're going to start to watch for some bearish divergence on the RSI. Maybe that'll build, and maybe it'll build on the MACD as well. We'll see. First, we need to get more of that positive momentum and make well, we'd be looking for a higher high in the price, right? So that's back to our 3,500 Satoshis and beyond, potentially up to the 4,000s, 4,500s. Okay, so that's the pirate chain still on that move. All right, we're waiting for it. Definitely still in play. If we go back out to the daily, we are breaking out. We have broken out of some local downtrending resistance. If we want to play with the wicks, we're still within it. So nothing is clear yet, but we're watching keenly to see what is going to happen next with the pirate chain price. Okay, so stick around for that. Good. What else? Oh, let's move on. Let's go into some crypto price charts. I wanted to get to the friends of DERO and take a look. DERO is at about 23,000 Satoshis right now. Some bullish engulfing candle being formed on the daily. It did exhaust, looked like it exhausted the Bollinger Band to the downside here, making a confirmed low here, and might go back up towards this 20-period average, this midway of what I've just carved out as a downtrending channel, which takes these tops here and this bottoms here now being formed here. So that seems reasonable. But before we do that, I want to hide that and recognize this uptrending channel, which contained some of the price before we fell down below it. We're going to get rid of you now. Okay, thank you. And so we really did dump below it and basically retrace this whole move from here. Nearly 100%, okay, of this move from July. But we still have a bigger move which happened previously to that. So this zone here is still in play, and maybe there's going to be a little bit of up before more down. Maybe this is the down and we aren't actually going to come touch this zone. That would be pretty strong. Then I would expect to be breaking out of this downtrend line sooner, I would imagine. Having said that, you never know. Maybe it's just one of these. Like, everybody's going to play their own shape and their own formation. So I don't know what is going to be the fate for DERO in these coming months, but don't know what the fate's going to be for anything. But it just feels like it's coming along as expected mostly. So watch this box as a nice area find some support. In fact, this could be pretty generous, and maybe the support needs to go, you know, a little bit lower, or whatever. But I think we're good with being generous. Okay, so that's the idea here. DERO price, and the reason that we get that, let's go to a weekly time frame, and we say, okay, look, we knew that we only had made an A wave and potentially now a B wave and into a C wave. We're only just getting to the bottom of this Bollinger Band here. It could still be, this move could still be the same degree, and then we're still going higher and making new all-time highs. Like, who knows? There's not me. However, we're carving out a nice zigzag pattern now. We've made it to the bottom of this Bollinger Band. I can imagine a retracement to this kind of level here, and then come back down and try and make a second retest. That's definitely possible on a weekly time frame. The other option is, you know, we really are closing out this zigzag pattern, and then yeah, we're ready to go to the next leg higher. That's also possible. But maybe, you know, maybe DERO is going to have to take its own time to form this next correction wave fully, and this is just the beginning of it on a weekly time frame. That's cool. We'll see. Stick around for more DERO. We are definitely at critical support levels here, and we will see what happens beyond that. Okay. Real low levels to watch remain down here around the 7,500 Satoshis level area. But for now, we're looking at that 14,000 Satoshis level as potential in play, and anything between. Okay. Danger. But for now, I definitely see DERO having a nice potential to move up. See, this seems like a good area, value area, where you can grab 40, 50% right there, potentially. None of this financial advice, but there you go for DERO. So we'll keep watching DERO and see what happens. Okay. Oh, I don't think we have any lagging indicators set up on DERO right now. That's okay. We're watching the price. We've got Bollinger Band. I think we're good for now on that. And daily wise, you know, there's another view. Okay, so that's DERO. Now, what else had we been looking at? TRAC, that's right. I wanted to take a look at TRAC. Okay, definitely broke through this rectangular zone. And now we made it all the way to that lower line, top of this formation here in the 2200 Satoshi level. So there you have it. Next drop zone would be down here around 1400. But, you know, just like other price charts, this is a daily price chart. Let's look at the weekly. Whoops. Nice turnaround potential here. On the weekly, either it still needs a bit of time or price. Like, I definitely see this level either it needs to come down with the price, or it needs to maybe just go sideways a bit, and this will come and meet it, something like that. I get that sense for TRAC, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't even need that, and it's come close enough, and it's going to do what it needs to do, and we'll see from there whether that means go up or it means go down. We'll see. So, nice turnaround candle on the 13th of December week, this green candle here. Not as even as the pirate chain candle in terms of the wicks and the body, but at least it's green, but it's, you know, not a super strong candle. So let's see what happens here. Maybe we need a little bit of a move down first before we fully clear out. So let's take a look at the daily and see, because look, hold on, for the weekly, on the weekly time frame, we're just starting to clear this positive momentum down towards the red negative momentum. So if that's going to happen, then this could be prolonged. Now, it doesn't mean the price has to keep going down. It could be a sideways type of movement, but just to say the momentum is not quite cleared at all. However, on a daily price chart, you could start to say, yeah, you know what, we could start looking towards a bit of positive momentum. Doesn't mean it's going to be huge. Maybe maybe not yet though. Maybe we still need to come down. So it looks like TRAC could still need to come down and test, or it's turning around right here, and that is the retest, which is definitely stronger. If you don't need to come back down here and you can use these price levels as your retest level, that's actually pretty decent. However, you know, I do want to say that these price levels have their significances. Of course, we look back here and say, yeah, these price levels matter, but we are not able to hold above it, and we're closing. You know, it came bottom of the Bollinger Band up to the 20 period average, rejection, and now down below it. So, and now down below this level too. So definitely not strong. It's kind of a little bit sidewaysy, and I do think it'll get a chance to go back up, but I don't think it's going to break the 2,800 level. At best, it'll wick into the 3,000 and then come back down. But you know, top of the Bollinger Band is going to be here around 2,800, 2,700 level by that time, and I think that the price will stop out there and come back down. But whatever, we'll see what happens. That's the origin trail track against BTC. Okay, in terms of, let's take a look here. In terms of some sort of trend line, it's like we're still below that trend line, but it looks like it's close to wanting to get above it. So that's that trend line. If we start to play with the candles, we have a lot more price jumping to take into account. We start to say things like, okay, well, maybe you're actually beyond it, and it's not really relevant based on the wicks. And now you're beyond it, you're coming back down, but you're above it. So you're onto the next phase of this correction. We'll see. Sounds good. It's not quite clear that we're completely done, but on the daily, it definitely looks like it wants to stay more positive compared to negative. So, but on the weekly, yeah, maybe you get a little bit of up, but then more down. But that's okay. It's just clearing out. It had a huge move up. We're in correction mode still. It's going to take some time on the weekly time frame. That's okay. That can follow the Bitcoin type of trajectory. And even, yeah, because Bitcoin then, even if it goes up, this is track against BTC, so it can keep going down and still be gaining value against USD. All right, so there's your origin trail price chart. And ADA, what are we up to ADA? It was looking like a good reversal potential. Any day now, as they say. We are really close to that box. Either we're getting in it, or it was just too strong of buying pressure. And in my opinion, we might be ending it. We definitely could be ending it here and getting out of here. This is a daily price chart. So yeah, I can see that happening for sure. And on a weekly price chart, you know, how many weeks in a row does the ADA BTC price need to be so destroyed, right? This is a massive move down, and now it's kind of just stair-stepping. And I do believe there's a really good chance that we are closing out this downward pressure. And there is, but I don't know. There is definitely a chance to try and reclaim up to this 20-week moving average around 4,000 Satoshis. But maybe I won't get there. I don't know, maybe it just needs to go sideways a little bit first. And maybe it still needs a bit more down. It's not super clear on the weekly just yet, but if we drill down into the daily and we say, yeah, there's definitely an opportunity for the price to be returning to the upper end here, maybe get up to this 3,000 Satoshis level. So maybe not four, but at least 3,000 Satoshis level. Gain a little bit of respite, rest, and then come back down again and maybe down into this box here, where the lower end is like 2,000 Satoshis, which relates to this previous support resistance region. That's pretty interesting. All right, so there's your ADA. We've got some good levels here to look at, 2000, 22, up to 26. So that's about it. Anything can happen here, but in terms of, let's take a look. In terms of this move, yeah, I feel like any day, any time now, any day now, we're pretty good here. You know, we've got this kind of move here. We've got another kind of move here. And then we've got this kind of move. And I feel like, why not? At least a move to 3,000 Satoshis is next, before coming back down if need be. I get that sense. Anyhow, watch this channel. We're in this daily channel. We're gonna break out of it. I get the sense, and we're gonna go. I get that sense now. However, maybe we need one more capitulation down into this 2200 level. Definitely could be the case, but we don't want to be ending it at this channel here. So maybe it'll capitulate down here, and then it'll come up, spring up, and retest back down before moving away up towards that 3,000 level. It could be that it could have to take into January or February before this happens, right? Just like with the BTC, could be. Well, I imagine if BTCs keep going down, then yeah, ADA is coming down, and then maybe it's coming up here to like the 3,000 level, whenever that happens to be. And forget it. Maybe at that point, yeah, we do get up to the 4,000 level, and we'll see what happens. All right. Yeah, so those are the ADA thoughts. Those are the ADA thoughts. And I think that's it for now. All right, definitely a long one. I am done. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, take care. Wishing you love, peace, and happiness. And until next time, goodbye.